Okay, I'm back. We're going to finish this today. I'm sick and tired of having to store my clothes on a cupboard over there. So we're going to finish it. Just wanted to show you what I'm doing up here in the loft. So as you can see here, this is the plasterboard that goes out to the room. This is the wall behind it. And this is the piece of wood I've put in between the plasterboard and the wall. I've just done that one there. It's slightly further up because there's a nail stopping it from going down. And the reason that is because I wanted to work out where to put it. I couldn't see it without putting a nail in, so I could see the nail in the gap. There's the piece of wood. And there's the nail holding up the piece of wood. So I'm going to take that out now and I'm going to get that piece of wood a bit further down so that it's supporting like this one is. I don't recommend doing this in your slippers, okay? I need to work out where these screws are going into this piece of wood so I can screw them into here so I know where to put the screws. I'm going to use some toothpaste on the holes where the screws are there. And then when I press this against it, it's going to put the toothpaste marks here and then I'll know where to screw. Or at least that's the plan. So let's see if it works. I've successfully managed to do that other one. I filmed that in vertical so I can put that on TikTok. But let's take these out. Perfect. And I'm going to put a little... In fact, let me just double check which way this goes in first. I don't want to get it wrong in a minute. Oh, oh no! It's not what I wanted. It's too much. Right, let's put the blob there. 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 I'm going to try and remove this excess. This isn't a science. Okay. Oh, was it this way? Damn. Let's see if that's worked. Oh, what? I think it needs to go a little bit deeper. The plasterboard is ever so slightly recessed because this piece of plasterboard is the same thickness, but it has plaster applied onto the surface of it, which is why when I'm pressing this, it actually needs to be pressed in because it's about 3mm too shallow. But I'll just fill that in when I come to paste over the top. I don't mean paste, but put some stuff over the top. Okay, well that worked better. If I've got a couple, then I can use the pattern on the actual words. Don't come easy to me. On the rail. On the rail. I didn't want to waste the big blob. Whew, minty. I have the toothpaste on here. I have the bracket. I'm just gonna work out. Oh, this is not a scientific method. Watch your fingers at the back. Okay, that's where the screws are going to go in. Do I repair this area first? Mark the holes and then hope that everything's in the right place? Or do I put it in first, go to the faff of putting everything up, just to unscrew it again? I'm going to finish it first. This feels like it's going to go all wrong. Okay. I'm just going to finish these edges with a pair of scissors because they're quite rough and they're not going to flatten down against the wall if they're all rough like this. I'm going to use this mixed poly filler. This is just the best thing that I have to hand, and well, let's see how this goes. I also don't have great tools for this job, so I'm going to use my grout float because it's got a wide surface, and then if it doesn't work I'll stop using it. Got to try and use what you've got, haven't you? Oh, I almost forgot. I've got some toothpicks that I'm going to use to mark the holes so I know where to drill. Paste under here a little bit so that it's got something to stick to because it's not currently, probably standing right in the way, aren't I? So this is where I started to apply the filler. This is totally new to me. I've not done this before, which is why this is all a bit experimental. And then I faffed with it a little bit more. I wanted to reduce the amount of time that I would need to spend sanding. Oh, I'm making a real pig's ear of this. I tried to use the grout float to make it as flat as possible. But nothing I did seemed to make it go flat. The paper underneath was bubbling up, which made me think it was getting too wet. So I scraped off a lot of the excess product to see if I could reapply it and get a better finish. Maybe I'm not doing what they're doing. Maybe I'm doing something different. Maybe it's the polyfiller. Maybe it needs a different kind of material. And this was when I really started to lose faith. It's possible that I wasn't applying it on thick enough. If the lines are like pretty much covered and it's mostly flat, I'll let it dry and then I'll just sand it down and see how it looks. That's my current plan. Oh, you thought I was going to let this dry? No. No, I'm determined that this is going to be flat. Pretty sure this is not how it's done. Why don't you leave me your thoughts in the comments about how you would have solved this issue of this rail coming away from the wall, the plasterboard being damaged and having that space behind. Drop me some thoughts in the comments. This was when I'd realised that I'd forgot to put the screws in that would secure it to the wood piece behind. So I screwed it in and then I had to mess around with it loads more. I'm going to let this dry and I'm going to see what it looks like when it's dry. Perhaps sand it down, might have to fill it in some more. I think it's safe to say this isn't a method that I would use again in this way. I might change it up. I don't think polyfill is the right thing for this job. But I'll keep you updated. And before I forget, I wanted to tell you I don't intend to publish these vlogs on the weekend, only because I'm not very good at being very boundaried with my free time. And so I am going to keep my Saturday date day as my day off. I often try and take Sundays. I'm not always successful. But certainly it would be too much for me to do this on the weekend as well. So my current plan is to produce 5 days a week, these daily vlogs. Oh dear. But whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm actually going to go ahead and tidy up because all of this mess is just going to get in my way for the next part. Here's another job that I'm quite keen to fix. When I first did these skirting boards in this room, I had this piece that was really warped and it wouldn't stick to the wall. So as a sort of temporary measure, I stuck it as close as I could and then I filled in the gaps. And obviously over time it has come away. So what I'll probably do is rake out all of this material. And now that I have a better idea about how I can secure this to the plasterboard despite the warp, I'll probably see if I can just stick it directly to the wall. But that's another problem for another day. This isn't actually fully dry, but I just want to test out on the edges to see how flat I can get it. This is 150 grit. Well, it's definitely looking very flat. I think once it's painted and it blends in, it will actually look fine. What I do need to do is after this area has dried, just to go on and apply some more. I didn't have quite enough product, so it's still quite dipped here where the actual hanging rail is going to hang. So I'm going to finish this off tomorrow. So this wall has mostly dried, and I've given it a sand down, and now I'm just filling this big gap in the middle. And so then I messed with it some more. I did actually manage to get it fairly flat at this point. I went back and I stuck my little toothpicks in. Okay, this time, I absolutely promise I'm going to leave it to dry and come back tomorrow. In other news, I'd woken up this morning to find out that I had a new order of my beeswax wraps. So it was actually the first thing that I did this morning to box these up and get them sent off. I need to buy some more of these bags. because I am selling these products with no currently any bags that makes no English to send them out in. So I'm doing that whilst I'm on hold to TikTok support chat to see if I can get my TikTok shop sorted. There's some sort of issue with me using my phone number for 2 different accounts, so it's never straightforward, is it?